And sit up straight and tall. And just take a moment to ground yourself. Now, I know holiday weeks are not always wonderful. Sometimes they're wonderful, but they're not wonderful for everybody. So, as you ground yourself, whatever your plans are for Thanksgiving, see if you can allow yourself the time for some self-care this week. So, whether you have a lot going on or a little going on, whether you have really beautiful, easy relationships you're about to commune with, or challenging ones you're about to commune with, see if you can first take care of the relationship to self. And so, as you drop down into a comfortable seat, take a moment to slow yourself down, to ground yourself in a state of support from the earth that's always available. And as you sense into your sit bones and your pelvis, feel free to move around a little bit. Maybe you want to rock forward or backward on your pelvis so that you get that sensing of ground. And once you do, see what it feels like to just drop your awareness, your attention into the breath. As always, one of the greatest self tools that we have that's free and always accessible at any moment is our breath. So let's utilize, kind of tune up your experience of healthy breathing here. Can you sense your breath slowing down, the pace changing a little bit as you ground and as you settle? Can you consciously let the exhale stretch just a little bit longer? Notice the natural impact of that long exhale. What happens in your nervous system, your mind? What happens to the inhale? Just pay attention to the effects of a long, slow exhale. All right, when you feel ready, ground yourself with your hands now as well. Feel your sit bones, feel your breath, feel the centering of your hand mudra. And even this simple state, if you're in a stressful moment, you can always go hide in a closet or in a bathroom and take a moment to stand in this position. Just closing your eyes, bringing your hands together and breathing. And remembering your own sense of groundedness, self-care. So it doesn't matter what the stressful situation is, you can always take 30 seconds to be here. All right, let's relax your hands and find your way onto your back. All right, so as you stretch out and lengthen your body, see what it feels like to enjoy a change of position. And as you lie down, can you give something away to the earth? Can you just drop anything at all from your mind or your body that is no longer serving you? And have a 2 breath shavasana here where you feel your body weight drop down. You feel the nature of your exhales. And then when you're ready, stretch your arms overhead and see what it feels like to open up through the sides of your body, reaching one side, reaching the other side, just opening up through your rims, feeling your hips and your shoulders move a little bit. And then draw your knees into your chest and perhaps have a little bit of hugging, a little bit of rocking, what feels good. Hang on to the knees and let's circle, kind of rolling your knees here. Rolling the other way, taking notice of how your hips are moving, how your back feels. All right, and then let's open the knees away from the middle and bring them back in toward the middle so that we have that sense of support and openness, feeling a sense of freedom starting to come into our hip joints, hopefully. All right, right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground. And now let's give that same mobility treatment to our ankles and our feet. See if you can wiggle around and ensure that your ankles are as free as you can get them right now. So easy to get stiff. Let's keep mobilizing. Switch sides, left knee in, right leg long. Keep moving your feet around. Notice your head, notice your shoulders. Try to stay nice and relaxed in the upper body. And then back and forth a few times. Left knee in, right knee in. Left knee in, and you can go as slow or as quickly as you would like. We're just kind of getting a little bit of mobility in those hip and knee joints. How's your breathing? All right, and then we'll stretch out to a star on the ground so we're wide and free. Let's roll our wrists and our ankles, kind of touch into the edges of your body. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a deep breath in and stretch wide and broad. And as you exhale, draw your knees to your chest, pick up your head. One more time, expanding, open, feeling spacious. Exhale, drawing in, snug ball. Relax your head down, put your arms out to the side. Let's windshield wiper our knees, just gentle twisting to start mobilizing the pelvis and the low back a little bit. And you can get this to start moving deeper into the thoracic spine by swinging your top leg a little further over on the twist. Feel free to turn your head in opposition, letting your full spine feel the impact of what you're doing. All right, and then let's roll to our right side, palms together. You can always support your head if you want, knees together, feet together, right angles with knees and hips. And let's open up your left arm, turn your head left, touch the ground behind you and bring it back. And just finding a nice rhythm of opening up across your shoulder and your chest and your ribs and your spine. And then as we come toward the other side, first stretch to a star on the ground, opening your body. Exhale, drawing the knees in. And then we'll roll to the left side, right angles with our legs. Palms together, and we'll gently open up into the twist, turn your head, and then coming back, just allowing the chest, the shoulder, the neck, the thoracic spine, the ribs, the breath, all find some mobilization. And then stretch open to a star one more time. Draw those knees in, and we'll roll to the right and come up to your hands and your knees. And notice, the simple little groundwork we do before we kind of get going into yoga postures. Notice if the mobilization, what it does for you. One of the things I love about routines, about starting with, a fairly familiar routine, it's a cue to our mind and our body that now is the time to care for ourselves and be in our yoga practice. Let's start moving through some cat cows and feel that fullness of your spine here, where we get to fully arch and fully round. Try to ripple through your vertebrae well so that you have that sense that each of the members of your spinal column have a moment in the sun. And then wag your tail. Feel a ripple sideways through your spine, so doing some lateral movements. And then complete this spinal warm up with anything that you want. So any kind of movement that feels nourishing to you. Is there any particular part of your vertebrae that needs some extra care today? All right, and then settle back into a child's pose and walk the hands far from out in front of you, inching your finger pads. And then you can keep mobilizing and move if you want. You can rock a little bit left and right here. You can start to be still, whatever feels good in your body. Okay. Walk the hands over to one side so that we're stretching through our ribs and our shoulder a little bit more on one side than the other. And then over to the other side. All right, and then we'll come back to center. Curl your toes under, touch your big toes and your inner ankles together, and then slide back a little bit toward a child's pose, just getting the bottom of your feet to open up. And then come back onto all fours, and let's lift the right arm up in the air. Roll your wrist a couple of times, and then exhale to thread the needle. Relaxing here, feeling the joy of twisting. Breathe deeply. See if you can melt into the base of your skull really well. Then we'll come out of that pose and reach the arm up to the sky, hand down onto the ground, and we'll change sides. Arm up, bring that arm down and through. Gaze toward the ground, let your eyes be steady and soft. Breathing deeply. Right. And when you feel ready, you can reach that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground, and we'll find our way to a dog pose. So as you come to stretch and lengthen here, take a little time to pedal your feet. Ground yourself. We're rooting into the earth, feeling a little bit of mobility in our ankles and our Achilles as we bend one knee and straighten the other. All right, feel your way into the long stretch of your hamstrings and your sit bones and your calves. See if you can feel the groundedness through the full hand. All right, and then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Find that forward fold. Relax your head. Melt here. All right, as we come into a halfway lift, spread out the bones of your feet. Have a little support underneath your hands. Stretch and lengthen here. Sit bones high. And then exhale, melting to fold again. One more time. A halfway lift, opening up through your sit bones. Melting to release. Push through your feet, rising up. Bring the arms to the sky. Find your way into that extension in your body. Reaching upward. Okay. And now let's reach one side up and then the other side up. So again, kind of just finding that side body stretching. All right, and then pause here, ground through your feet. So let's cactus, open the chest, big spread wings. And then exhale, round in chin to chest. Rising up, big breath, cactus your arms. Exhale, palms together. Pause here. Now we do the same mudra standing where we can close our eyes, center ourselves, give ourselves the opportunity to breathe well, to feel a sense of grounding. Long, steady exhales. Simple tools to help you ground and center, to nourish yourself. Inhale, reaching upward, and exhale, and folding forward. A halfway lift, extending through the spine. Exhale and melt again. Step back to a dog pose, feeling that sense of length in your body one more time. Feeling the sit bones lift up, breathing deeply. We'll come forward into a plank. Push the ground away. Integrate into the center of your body. Drop your shoulders away from the ears. Full breaths in. Full breaths out. Okay, we'll put our knees on the ground and find the earth. Maybe a bit of a shoulder roll. And then inhale for a cobra pose. Open chest. Exhale. Melting back down. One more time. Rising up. Exhale, releasing. Come up onto all fours. Wiggle around in your spine. And we'll take a bird dog. So right leg straight back behind you. Left arm out in front of you and integrate to the core of your body. Keep your neck long. A deep breath in, and as you exhale, hug underneath you. And then inhale, bringing it out. Exhale underneath. Inhale out. Last time. And put that hand and knee down onto the ground and we'll switch sides. Left leg up, right arm up. Find that stability. Press your shin and hand into the ground. Deep breath. As you exhale, hand and elbow underneath and knee underneath. Reaching out on the inhale. Exhale to come under. Feeling that length again. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's find our way onto the belly one more time. Take your hands underneath your forehead. Engage through your core so you know you're nice and stable, and lift your right leg up in the air. All the way from the hip, so it's not going to be a far lift. But see if you can resist with the stability of your pelvis, the stability of your core, so we're not overdoing. And then relax and melt that down. Change sides. Other leg up. Engage through your core. Find that stability through your glutes and hamstring and core and pelvis. And then we'll release and melt that back down. Take both legs wide on the mat. Keep your head on your hands and we'll lift just our legs up. Toes can face down toward the ground or point them, but our kneecaps are not turned out. We're neutral. Lift those legs up in the air. Feel the hugging on to your pelvis with your glute muscles. And then relax. Okay. Kind of learning how to stabilize the pelvis for a back bend. Let's go ahead and come back up onto all fours. Wiggle around in your spine. And then take a puppy pose. Walk the hands far out in front of you, and drop your ribs, your chest toward the ground, having a little mindfulness to not collapse. Stretching open that thoracic spine. Walk the hands and knees back in toward each other. Grab your 2 blocks, put them on the mat so your elbows have a rest point. We'll just open up our triceps now. Okay, so the elbows in line with shoulders if you can, thumbs toward your spine, and then lengthen your elbows toward your pelvis. So we're not thinking down toward the ground, we're thinking long. Find a full breath. Relax, release that stretch. Bring your hands back onto the ground and find a dog pose. As you lengthen upward in this posture, extend through your body again. Feel that reaching, root down, rise up. And we'll walk our feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up through your spine. And then exhale, melt again. Push through the feet, rising up. Trace one more time, right down through the center of the body. Let's pause here for a moment. A breath in, a breath out. And we'll bring our hands straight out to the sides, palms facing toward the walls next to you. Spread your fingers, lift your fingers up toward the sky. Lengthen from your heart to your hands. Just do a few circles here. Just kind of open up some of the nerves in our arms. Go the other direction with your circles, shoulder blades down. Lots of room in your neck. And then interlace your fingers and press them straight up toward the sky. Wide legs to the edges of your mat, up and over to the side. Ground through your feet, opening up through your shoulders, and then over to the other side. Coming back to center. A couple more shoulder stretches to just get us loosened up in our upper body. Cross one arm over the other. Drop your shoulders, eagle arms. Take a breath. Breathe into the muscles around your neck, the base of your skull, the tops of your shoulders. And then we'll switch sides. Other arm on top, shoulders down, chest broad, elbows up. Breathing deep. Melt anywhere you can. And then relax your arms. Give your hands a nice good shake. Inhale to a big circling arc, and then interlace your hands behind your back. Open up your chest, touch your teeth, and lift your chin. Open up the fronts of your shoulders. If you need a strap, you can do this with the strap behind, holding a strap behind your back. And we'll come forward and reach our arms away from our spine. Just go where you go. Opening up through the fronts of the shoulders, and feel free to rock your arms left to right a little bit. All right, release your arms down. Get rid of that strap. Come to a halfway lift, opening up through the body here. Exhale and melt. Right foot's going to come in front, left foot in the back. Find your lunge. Okay. All right, let's bend and straighten the front knee. Opening up our hamstrings, opening up our hip flexors. Be very mindful that how deep you go into these postures. Move with your breath. All right, ground yourself in your lunge. Push your feet down, rise up, crescent lunge. Arms coming up to the sky. Lift off your pelvis, reaching to the sky. And then if you feel like it, you can interlace your fingers the opposite way from what we just did. Just find a broad chest here, nice and grounded through your legs. And we'll release the hands onto the blocks. Hop up into half splits, feeling that extension in the body, squaring the pelvis, breathing deeply. And we'll find our way to some Jiva squats. Tuck down next to or behind the right knee with that left knee. Push straight and extend your body. Twice more. Exhale, dropping into that one-legged squat. Inhale, pressing straight. One more time. And place that foot down next to the other foot and come to Uttanasana. Find a half lift again, extending the spine. Melt to fold. Other foot back, our left is in front now, finding that groundedness of your legs. Breathing deeply. And as you begin to bend and straighten your front knee, be mindful of how far you go. Keep your hips square, breathe your way through. All right, ground yourself in your lunge. Push through your feet. We'll rise up, coming to the sky with our arms, crescent lunge on this side. Breathe, let your legs ground. So engage your glutes, engage your feet, press them into the earth. Feel that support to reach out of. If you'd like to do a variation, you can take your hands behind your back and open up, or keep your arms exactly where they are. Finding breath. We're going to find our way into a half splits. So hands down on blocks, hop up. Feel that extension, stretch that leg behind you straight, square hips. Find your breath, reach your heart long. When you're ready, we'll start to move. On the exhale, drop into a squat, one-legged squat. Left knee bends, your right knee is behind or next to. Straighten out on your inhale, chest long, legs straight. Exhale to come back. Inhale, push straight. Once more. Find your core and your pelvic floor supporting you. Straighten that leg, put your foot down onto the ground, and find your way back to a dog pose. So to extend in your body, take your time, breathing well. And we'll come forward into a plank. Push the ground away, shoulders away from the ears. And we'll find the ground. All right, take your arms next to you, palms facing the ground. We're going to lift everything we've got up. Engage your triceps, your back muscles, your glutes, your legs. Lift everything up and breathe. Exhale and relax. Put your head under your hands, pick up your feet, and rock your legs left and right. And this time we'll take the variation with the arms overhead, if your body allows. You can have them in line with your shoulders or wider, thumbs up. Take a deep breath, and same with your legs. You can have your feet hip width apart or wider, your choice. Engage your core like we did earlier so that you're nice and stable through the pelvis, and then lift up. So we're not just relying on the muscles in the back body, but the front as well. Breathing here. Exhale, relax, pick up your feet and rock them left and right. We'll enjoy a twist before climbing back up to stand again. So bring your left knee high up toward your armpit, and then we'll cross that right arm over and roll open to a twist. Let your back receive this pose. Let your head melt into the ground. And we'll roll on back and switch sides. Right knee up toward your right armpit. Take a look at your knee. And then we'll cross that left arm over to the right and roll open here. Breathing deep. Breathing full. Head is heavy. All right, coming back to center. Come up onto all fours. And we'll move around in our spine here. Swiggling, swishing, swaying. Finding breath. Lift to a dog pose when you're ready. Feeling extension in your body one more time. And then walking your feet forward to an Uttanasana. Push through your feet, rising up. Coming up to stand, reach your arms to the sky. And then one more time, tracing down and pausing. As your hands get to your heart, pause here for a moment and just practice the art of a quick 30-second reset. Unlock your knees. Feel your breath travel in low in your body, maybe all the way to your feet. Relax your shoulders. Relax the muscles in your face, your jaw. And give yourself over to the long, steady breaths. You can always purse-lipped exhale to kind of mimic that straw breathing. Simple things can be very helpful when stress takes over. All right, take your legs wide on your mat. So we're in a wide-legged stance. Turn your knees out and come down into a deep squat. Elbows inside your knees. Let's feel some roots in our feet. Ground yourself. And then inhale, coming all the way up to stand. We'll do some slow exhales into goddess poses. So exhale to drop down. Inhale. Climbing back up. Letting these poses be grounding, powerful. You can stand in your own sense of ground and power. This next one will stay for a moment. So as you come down, feel that exhale take you there. And then just pause here, ground into your feet, open up through your chest, open your knees up, stay upright. Full breath into the belly, the chest, the feet. And we'll inhale and come to a standing star, stretching into a sense of spacious power now. And release the hands down. Just one standing pose. Let's bring a block with us if we'd like. You can either come into Parsva with your hand on a block or elbow on your knee. Okay. So whichever variation feels better for your body. Extend, open through your shoulder, through your hip. Feel a deep sense of ground through your feet. You feel ready? We'll push off our feet to come all the way back up. Turn your feet the other way. Parsva Konasana this side. Choose. Maybe you're using a block. Maybe your elbows on your knee. Find your way into this posture. Extending through your side. Opening up here with the breath, with that sense of getting a really wide base of support. So feel that. Anchor into both feet. Feel how wide they are from each other. Use that powerful wide stance to give you a sense of support to reach your spine with. Breathing well. Relax the base of your skull. And we're going to push open to a standing star one more time, reaching your limbs wide. We're going to come down into a goddess one more time, opening up your knees, grounding here, and just pulse a few times. So feeling the ground under your feet. And as the pulses come and you start to fatigue in your legs, know that that's okay, that the earth is still supporting you. Keep your chest open. All right, and then standing star. And turn your feet forward and find Pasrita. Wide-legged stance. Come down as far as you'd like to come down. You can come all the way to the ground with your head if you'd like to. Lift your kneecaps so quads are engaged. Broaden the soles of your feet. Come back to turn to the front of your mat for a dog pose. Feeling that rootedness. Breathing well. Then we'll come forward into a plank, holding steady again. Breathing deep. And then we'll put our knees onto the ground and find the earth. This variation of our back bend, this time we're going to have our palms facing the ground, wide palms. Draw your elbows back so elbows are bent. We kind of create like the letter W in our body with our arms and our torso. And then we're going to inhale and lift up legs, arms, chest. Keep your neck long. Hug your shoulder blades toward your low spine. Feel the lower back muscles engage and support those lower traps. And then exhale and release. Come up on tall fours. Give yourself a little spinal wiggle. All right. This is a deep stretch, so you can always do a plan B if you need it. We're going to do a lunge and reach back and grab our foot. So a couple of choices. You can always just stand up and do a quad stretch instead if you'd like. We'll have our right foot forward first, come to a lunge. Okay. There's a couple choices in how you go about grabbing your back foot. First of all, you can always wrap a strap around your ankle to make it a little closer for you. The deepest variation is to take your right hand behind you, pick up your left foot and grab. So let me show you this from the side. So if you're doing this variation, make sure you don't start in right angles. Bring your foot, start in a lunge. You want to kind of come deeply forward so that your back hip is extended instead of being at right angles. And this way, when you reach back to grab your foot, you won't be on the top of your kneecap. You'll be a little forward of that. And there's a little twist in here. Now, if that's too much, you can try to reach with your opposite hand, which is a little bit different. And if that's too much, you can wrap a strap around your ankle and have some give so you can reach and hold the strap. And then if you're just like, nope, I can't be on my knee, that's too much, then you can stand up or lie on your side and do a quad stretch this way. Okay, so lots of choices always. the benefit, if your body allows it, to be in the lunge version is that you get both a quadricep stretch and a hip flexor stretch. So, you get to pick two flowers with one hand. So that's always a good thing. Okay, so find your position. Breathing, you can have your hand on blocks or not. Reach with whatever you're reaching, grab whatever you're grabbing, and find your way into the quad hip flexor stretch. Open into your breath. Try to hug your right knee toward the midline so you're not letting it fall out. All right, and then relax. And it's okay to not bring your heel close to your buttocks. You just go where your body allows you to go. Come out. You can rest in child's pose for a moment before we do the second side, if you'd like. Okay. And then whenever you're ready, and don't assume that your two sides are the same. You might need a different variation on this side. Okay, so left foot is going to come forward. Remember that deep lunge. We're not at right angles. Extend. Perhaps you just want to be here and leave your quad alone for a moment. So you do you, however the pose is right for you today. If you're reaching back with a hand, grab onto a strap or to your foot. Make sure you're not on your kneecap uncomfortably. Reach forward a little bit so you're just above your kneecap on the bottom of your quad. You can always do a different variation. Hug to the midline, finding breath. All right, and then when you're ready, you can come out of that pose. Come into child's pose for a moment. Just let your hips relax. And then we're going to come, whenever you're ready, take your time. We're going to come on to our back. Okay? Bridge poses are a really good way to prepare for a deeper back bend. They're also a great back bend in and of themselves. So you can always, as we always do, modify anything. We're going to do a bridge pose, and then we're going to flip over and do Dhanurasana. If you have full wheel in your practice, this would be a good day to try it. I'm not going to cue it because I can't see y'all, so it makes me nervous. But if you feel good and comfortable in that posture, then doing a full back bend is always a choice. But I'll cue a bridge pose and then Dhanurasana. Okay, so let's go ahead and find your way. You can use a block if you'd like in between your thighs, if that helps you stabilize. Your choice. Okay. Ground through the four corners of your feet. Before you lift anything up, push down. See what it feels like to find your feet, to know that they're in good placement, that you feel confident that you can ground all four corners. And then when you're ready, climb up just a little bit so you can hug your shoulder blades toward each other, get onto the tops of your shoulders, and then find the fullness of the pose. I like to have my arms just down on the ground. It's too much for my shoulder to interlace underneath. It makes me internally rotate, which is counterproductive. But if your shoulders are open, you can interlace underneath you. Otherwise, press into the ground with your arms all the way to the backs of your hands. Root the four corners of your feet. Look straight up for a moment so you know that the back of your head is what's pressing instead of your neck. Lift your heart toward your head. And then if you want to gaze down your chest, you can. Feel the roots of all four corners of your feet. The glutes are strongly engaged. Yeah. All right. And then relax to soften out of there. Windshield wiper your knees, left and right. So now for the second back bend, you have so many choices. Always, you can do a supported bridge if you're done with the hard work vibes. You can do a full wheel if that's what's in your practice. You can do a Dhanurasana and follow me. Okay. So again, just like the quad stretch, you can wrap a strap around your ankles if it's hard to reach your ankles in this pose. We'll come on to our belly. If you're following me, if you're doing a different pose, you do you. Okay. We'll grab our feet. We'll check in to make sure our knees are staying in line with our hips instead of splaying out. And then find that same pelvis position we had earlier where we're engaging the core, the pubic bone lifts, the tail drops toward the knees. We're going to engage our front and back body as we inhale to lift up. Open the shoulders, kick your feet back, keep your neck long, and breathe. And whenever you're ready, put your hands under your head and windshield wiper your knees left and right. I'm going to repeat the twist that we did earlier. Left knee up toward your armpit. Get your props out of the way. Cross your right arm underneath and roll open to a twist. Feel free to vary this pose in any way that feels right. You know, maybe you want a slightly different arm position. Maybe rocking feels good to you. Maybe you want to slide your knee a little further away from your chest or up higher. Kind of experiment with what gives you breath and a sense of ease and release. This pose is about release right now. Let's roll back over, switching sides, knee up, cross the arm over, and roll open. And again, any variation of this that feels right in your body. Keep your head relaxed, melt. Okay, and then we'll come out of that posture, back up onto all fours. Move your spine around. And we're going to come into a pigeon pose. Of course, you can do a reverse pigeon pose if that's a better choice for your body, or any hip stretch that's a good choice for your body. So it doesn't have to be a reverse pigeon. It could be a, you know, like a eagle legs kind of thing on your back. You know, lots of choices always. We'll take our right leg forward first, or right foot on your left knee if you're on your back. Squaring the pelvis, feeling that reaching of the spine, open through your heart. Drop the shoulders down. Check in with your front heel. Is it in good placement? Is your knee in good placement? Do you need to alter anything? Hips are square, and then we'll find our way forward and down. Okay, support your head. Breathing deeply. What can you do to melt whatever's not being needed? All right, and when you feel like it's time, go ahead and climb out of the posture, and we'll switch to the other side. Always noticing, you know, if you need a different pose on this side, it's not, it's okay if your body's not symmetrical and you have different needs from one side to the other. So find your way to pigeon or reverse pigeon or any variation of a hip stretch that's right for you. Lengthen upwards, square the hips, kind of get that extension before we go down. Make sure your knees and hips and ankles are in good places, and then we'll come long and rest your head on a block or on fists or wherever, whatever you're resting on. Check in with that back leg. Is it straight back behind you, or do you feel that it's kind of out to the side? See if you can find that straight line and square hips and wide sit bones. Take care to not collapse your spine. See if you can keep buoyant and extensive in your spine. Find your breath. Right, when you feel ready, go ahead and release from this side. And as we prepare for Shavasana, maybe you're ready for a little bit of a deeper forward fold. So you can bring your knees to your chest to release your back, or a happy baby, or some rocking plow might feel good. So a twist might feel good. You do you. Okay, so whatever is needed. And as you find Shavasana, such an important pose. So make sure you're comfy, make sure you're warm, make sure you don't have any bright lights on you, make sure that you're not touching random props. Okay. Make sure you have enough support underneath you to make your body rest well or allow your body to rest well. So as you find your way here, you might still be doing some stretches, and that's okay. As you find the comfort of Shavasana, the moment you get settled, drop everything you can. Just bring yourself into your breath. begin to deepen our breathing. Feel the groundedness below you. And just like we did seated and standing, let's take a moment now to bring our hands onto our heart and practice a couple of slow, deep breaths. Nod your head. And when you're ready, you can begin the transition out of Shavasana. So if you want to roll onto your side and just rest for a moment, or maybe there's some movements that feel right for you to do. Eventually find your way nice and slow. Make sure you move nice and slow as you find your transition. As you come up to a comfortable seat, notice your groundedness, notice how you feel. And see if you can remind yourself that this is always available, that finding a sense of calm and grounding is always available. Your tools are always with you. Let's bring our palms together and offer this energy outward, sending our love and care to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.